in general, there's always going to be a hesitancy from Native people. There's always a hesitancy when it comes to medical care, hesitancy with vaccinations, and a lot of that comes from trauma.
The vaccine, I'm not against it and I'm not totally for it.
There's a lot of distrust when it comes to anything that could be linked to the government or anything that would be pushed by the government. So whenever they hear CDC saying, get vaccinated, do this, do that, it's hard for them to feel that trust. Another part of it too is so many of our Native American elders still practice traditional medicine. And so what they'll refer to it as white medicine. They're hesitant to take that because for me and my tribe, we've always been taught you have what you need. And so if you are sick, you have what you need. You can find something to help you and help cure you. Now, science has taught us a little bit different. You know, there are ways to prevent that from even happening, and that's part of vaccination. So for us to be able to connect and close that gap, we have to build that trust, and we have to show up daily so that they recognize that we are not just random people trying to push vaccines on you.
People are scared to come to the doctors. You know, they're scared to, be diagnosed with something or, scared to be on medications, and it just kind of is intimidating.
For our elders, they've kind of been in situations where it was fight or flight, survival mode. And for them, it's one of those situations, if they don't feel confident about something, then they don't want to trust it. So for us, part of our vaccination promotion was protecting our elders because we want to protect them. Across the board in all tribes, our elders are the most important people in our tribe because they hold the knowledge. They are the people that we go to when we seek information and we need help.
In the Indian community, to protect others is very important because our membership is low anyway. If you don't protect the membership, our membership's going to continue to go down and down and down, and we're a small tribe to begin with.
Without them, we would lose so much of our culture. We would lose so much information. A lot of our traditions are passed down orally, and so it's not all written in a book. It's not like when we lose an elder, we can just refer to a book. A lot of times we lose an elder, we just lost so much information if it wasn't passed on. So by creating media that is geared towards protecting our elders, it's saying our elders are important to us. We need to protect them. And if they do not feel comfortable getting vaccinated, then the rest of us need to do our part. We need to vaccinate herd immunity. We need to make sure that we are not going to put ourselves in a situation where we could hurt them.
We took it as a mission to educate, build trust with our clients, meet the patients where they are. And we were not there to just mass vaccinate. We were there to provide accurate health information and resources to clients so that they could make a well-informed decision, because that was our priority.
And in the Iowa tribe, they lost one of the last remaining fluent speakers of the language. And when you put that into context, you're wiping out our culture.
How can I protect the elders that I serve and the people that I'm testing? I can do that through this vaccine. And so we geared our marketing messages towards that, and we created the hashtag vaccination because we wanted to vaccinate our nation. And the nation kind of represented community towards us, right? So it's a tribal nation and it's the Iowa nation, but it's also our community at large. And so we provided incentives and we put the hashtag vaccination on our marketing materials and our shirts, and our staff wore the shirts while we were providing vaccines. Individuals that see our marketing materials and the marketing materials that we develop can feel represented by those materials, because it's important to have ownership and be able to identify with the marketing materials. I think when you have little ones growing up and they see princesses that may not look like them, right? And so we want to have models that look like the people that we are trying to help, right? We want kids to see a message and think, hey, that could be my family member, that could be my friend, that could be me, right? And so all that does is build confidence, build trust, it helps build relationships.
To sum it up, the representation matters. Native people need to see themselves in any type of campaigns, especially when it's medically relevant. They need to be able to picture themselves or their granddaughters or their grandmothers, grandfathers. They need to see that. For it to be more personal, they need to be able to trust the people who are trying to push that message. If that's their local clinic, hospital, just anybody in their community, in order for them to take that message seriously, there has to be a relationship, there has to be trust. To build that trust, you have to be willing to communicate, you have to be willing to ask questions, but you also have to be respectful and never go into it with an entitled attitude. You have to understand that this is a culture that is rich and we have so many different variations from tribe to tribe. And some of us are more willing to share knowledge than others. And if we're willing to share that knowledge, you should look at that as like the highest form of a compliment because we're willing to trust you with this. So I just think those are the main 3 points that are really important when we're really wanting to look at hesitancy in Native American communities.